There's a phrase that I want to teach you in Hebrew. We say, Mavet v'chaim b'yad halashon. Mavet is death, chaim is life, b'yad halashon, in the hand of the tongue. Mavet v'chaim b'yad halashon. Sounds kind of weird in English, but what it actually means is that the words we say have deep meaning, and they're very important. It's even life and death important. So how is it connected to learning Hebrew in general? So first of all, if you don't know me, then hi, I'm Noah. I'm a Hebrew teacher, but also I come from the performance arts, and the way I teach is through music, theater, games, and many different ways. And also, we're talking here a lot about mindset, because it's very important to work on our mindset whenever we go to learn something new. I am not a native English speaker, as you can probably hear. I teach Hebrew, not English, but I'm sure you understand me, and that's the most important thing here. So how is this phrase connected? Chaim u'mavet b'yad halashon. Life and death by the hand of the tongue. Meaning what we say is sometimes even life and death. Meaning, right? The words that we say matter. So first, let's go back a little bit. Things that we do every day, that we don't procrastinate, we don't postpone, we don't give up on them. Those are the things that are easy for us. They're familiar, we know how to do them, maybe it's even fun, so we just do them. We probably did it a lot of times in work, in our day-to-day life, whatever it may be. Things that are new to us are things that we're not good at. It's not our comfort zone. And I love comfort zone. I'm not against comfort zones. But sometimes if we want to grow, then we have to step out, because growth by definition is doing something new, is growing somewhere we haven't grown before. It's discovering new abilities, new skills. It's overcoming obstacles, right? So when we want to grow, and let's say we want to grow anything in life, we want to grow our business, our relationships, our financials, we want to learn something new, we want to learn a language, Hebrew for that matter, then we have to do things that we don't know yet, or they're not easy for us. They're not in our comfort zone. And what happens is, and this is how our brain wired, it's not our fault, is that our brain conceives that as a threat. If we're not good at something, then this jungle that we live in, let's go back, right? We have to run from lions. We have to know how to notice them, how to run fast, how to hunt, otherwise we won't be here. The lion will eat us, or he won't eat us, but something bad will happen. So we don't have lions today, but it's still a jungle, man. You know, work, life, relationships, it's still a jungle for us. And it's maybe we won't die, but think of a person that needs to speak in front of people. If it's at work, colleagues, maybe just friends, maybe just someone on the street that we really want to talk to, right? Maybe we live in Israel and someone approaches us. Maybe we don't live in Israel, but we suddenly hear someone speaks Hebrew and we really want to connect, but we're so scared, because if I'll say something and I won't say it correctly, then maybe they'll think I'm stupid, or they would understand me incorrectly. They'll think I said something else, or this is scary. We are a social being. We don't want to be alone. We don't want to be conceived as foolish. And that is the point that we stop. Because if that's a threat, if what I am saying right now will eventually make me alone or stupid or awkward or whatever it may be, then I'm just not going to say it. And it's not that I'm not going to say it, is that my brain, the super computer here, won't allow me to do that, right? And then we say, I don't know why I switched to English, or I don't know why I started learning, but it's not for me, it's too difficult. And our brain says, listen, you're too old, you're too young, you don't have the talent, you don't have the time, you don't really need it. blah, 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 whatever it may be. There are so many things. It's not that we are lazy or we don't want to do it or we can't. Yes, we can. How do I know that you can learn any second language? Hebrew. If you're here, then Hebrew is your language. Let me tell you very easily. If you've learned your mother tongue, and I'm guessing that you did, because most of us, all of us learn it, then you can learn languages. There's nothing wrong with your brain. You've learned a language, you can learn another language. Would it be exactly the same? No, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, because what you've heard when you were just born and even before that, right? It's different. You've really soaked it your whole life. But can you learn a language? Can you speak very well? Can you be fluent and proficient in another language? Definitely. It's the same mechanism. Nothing has changed. We try to make things very complicated, but basically the way we've learned our mother tongue is the same way we learn the second language. Okay, and that is how I teach. So what does it mean? It's a bit more complicated. What does it mean? Learning, is it being a baby again? No, of course not. But your brain works the same. So what happens? What is the difference? The difference is that the baby doesn't tell himself, I can't, I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm not talented, or I tried for a year and so, a year and a half, and I still make mistakes whenever I say a word, and I don't really have sentences, so, it's not for me. No, a baby doesn't know how to tell himself that. When do we learn how to tell ourselves those things? When we go to school. First grade, right? So we start learning things consciously, reading, writing, mathematics, different things, calculating things, and we have to get results. And it's okay. We want to learn something and see that we've learned it. But on the way there are grades. And there are teachers who tell us you are wrong. And then we see this, instead of a blue A plus, in Israel it's 100, it's with numbers. We see F for failure. Who wants to fail? Who wants to be a failure? No one. And we see this red number or this red F, and a lot of, our teacher erase things, and sometimes they're even mad at us because we didn't learn. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't, but we made mistakes. And no one ever teaches us that mistakes are good, because this is how we learn. How can we learn if we're not making mistakes? If we're learning, we're bound to have mistakes. There's no way to skip, right? Even if you do speak a language very good, let's say I speak English, okay? I speak fluently, I talk to people, I'm doing this YouTube channel, but it's not my native tongue. So I make mistakes? Obviously I do, but who cares? Who cares? Can I speak fluently? Can I talk to people? Can I engage with people? Can I have friends who speak English? Can I work at places that need someone who speaks English? Of course. Can I do this video for you to teach you how to learn Hebrew? Yes. That's exciting. Can I communicate? Yes. Can I understand? Yes. So will I make mistakes? If I tried, let's say, not to make mistakes, then, well, to tell you the truth, not only I wouldn't learn how to speak English and I wouldn't be able to speak to you right now, I wouldn't do this YouTube channel, I wouldn't do anything in life, because I made mistakes in everything that I've done with my business, my relationships. This is how I learned to make them much better. So this is where this process starts. And when I teach my students, we celebrate mistakes. Confetti, yay, that's great. Now you've learned how to say it correctly, and if you'll forget, okay, wow. So you'll be reminded by a teacher, by a friend, at something you read, you see, you'll learn it. So why life and death by the hand of the tongue? Why chaim u'mavet biyad halashon? Because if we understand this important phrase, then we understand that what we tell ourselves is highly important when we learn a language. So we have textbooks, right? When we learn, usually teachers, courses, different techniques, videos, songs, perfect. This is how I teach as well, right? Songs, music videos, things that we do, fun things, games, a lot of good things. But if we don't think that we can make it, no matter how great the teacher and how great the course and the materials, and no matter how much we want it, and we have this great motivation, it doesn't matter, because somewhere along the way, this motivation will run out. And the great teacher is a great teacher, but if you don't think you can do it, then you won't come to class. Or you come, but you won't really be open to try things. Or you'll try things, but after class you won't do anything. Or you'll learn, but you won't speak, or whatever it may be. The point that you get stuck, that you get always, you hit a wall, right? We do it and we hit a wall, and then we try again, we hit a wall, and sometimes it's not even the same wall, because we have the past failure that we carry as well. So how do we change and tell this supercomputer that is a genius computer, our brain, that wants to protect us in any means possible? The brain is not bad, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful, I'm telling you, a super computer. No computer works like that. We don't even understand what our brain can do, right? So, but just the things that we do understand, let's talk about them. If my brain conceives something as a threat, which is not really a threat for me, not really, right? If something is a threat, you want to keep it. Fear is not always bad, but if this is not really a threat for me, how can I change it? Because when I was a kid, my teacher was angry that I can't read and write. This is, by the way, my story with Hebrew. And I'm a native Hebrew speaker. And I couldn't read and write until the age of 12, right? I had dyslexia. It was very hard for me to read and write. I spoke very well. It's my native tongue. But I couldn't read and write. And my teacher would yell at me. And my classmates would laugh at me. You're 11, you're 12, and you still can't read. So when you have this, your brain really doesn't want to try anything new. But what can we do? If we want to change it, and I did it, and I see my students when we do it, the difference, it's a game changer. Once we tell ourselves a whole different story, and listen, it's not a new age thing. It's real, okay? But we have to apply it. And I know that you've heard many times people talk about it, but not always in regards to learning a language, because there we're just like the grammar, the rules, the patterns. But what about what I tell myself? It's very important. It brings us back to when we were kids learning in school. We were in school again, and this kid is, alive again. And although we understand that it's not a threat logically, we don't work logically. It doesn't work like that. We work emotionally. So how does it work? When I have a thought, a bad thought, let's say, I tell myself, listen, I'm too old to learn this language. Maybe if I was, 10, 15, 20, I could learn it. But now I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70, I'm 30, I don't know. It's too late. Then there's to that thought, and sometimes maybe I will even say it, right, with words. Immediately we have an emotion, and it's a bad one. Obviously, we didn't say anything good to ourselves about ourselves. And when I have this bad thought and this bad words, these bad words, and then this bad emotion, I will have an action or a non-action for that matter, but it's still an action. Not doing anything is also doing something. So if I tell myself I'm too old, I'll feel pretty bad if I want to learn Hebrew. Obviously, if I don't want to do it, I don't care, right? I don't want to be a dancer, and it's okay that I don't know how to dance. I don't care. But I really want to draw. This is something that I want to do for a while. And if I tell myself I don't have the time, but the truth is, and that's the truth, that I don't think I can do it. I draw really bad. I don't know how to do it. I just think it's super fun. And I really want to do it, but I don't think I can do it. Then what happens is I tell myself, listen, you don't have the time. Truly, you can't. And then the action is not doing anything about it, but I really want to do it. Maybe I even need to do it because I will relax, or I will find a new ability or skill. And with language, it's even more so because it's communication. Sometimes it's a hobby, sometimes it's more than that. So we want to switch it. We want to switch take the same mechanism and just do it positive. So we don't control all of our thoughts, but we can control a lot of them. And once we start, it gets better and better and better until we switch the thought. So if I, for instance, say I'm too old, maybe I can say, wow, now I have the time and I am ready. And I'm ready to learn something new, and I have new perspective, and I'm not in a hurry. And it will be so much fun to learn now when I know so many other things. And wow, this feels fun. Immediately there's a nice emotion. So I have this thought, and I can tell myself this, and suddenly I feel very well about myself. And then an action. Probably, maybe I'll see if I can find a good teacher or a program, a course, something to do, and take it slow and have fun with it and see what I can learn now. Maybe I was less confident when I was young. Maybe I tell myself something different. I don't have the talent, or I don't have the time, or whatever it may be. I want to change that to, you don't need talent to learn a language. I learned my mother tongue. I don't need a talent for that. It's not like I want to go on Broadway, sing, dance, and act, and I don't know how to do it. No, and also, by the way, you can learn that as well, but let's talk about still languages. I don't need a talent. Okay, so maybe some people, it's very fast for them. Let me tell you, most people, it isn't the case. Most people need time to learn a language. No magic wands. There are great ways to learn, effective ways, fun ways, ways that will actually teach us how to speak and how to understand, but they're never super, super, super fast. If someone tells you, listen, come learn a second language in 4 weeks, it doesn't happen. That's the truth. I have to be honest. It doesn't happen. But can it happen? After a few months, the answer is yes. Can I learn after a few weeks to have some simple conversations? Yes. Can I improve myself in 4 weeks? Yes. Can I understand better? Can I speak better? Can I start reading? Yes, 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 yes. Can I come from 0 to fluent in 4 weeks? No. But who wants to? It's not the case. It's not what we need usually. We don't only have 4 weeks to learn everything. So once we tell ourselves something new, and maybe remind ourselves, put a reminder on your phone, on your computer, write it down somewhere that you can see it. Control how you think, right? Don't let it control you. There's no rewards when we say, no, I'll let it, whatever I truly feel. No, it's not what you truly feel. It's not even a feel. It's a thought that is a thought that was embedded in us when we're very little, and it's not a good thought. It's not a productive thought. It didn't help us. Most of us struggled in school as well and didn't really like school. You know how kids, at the beginning, they just love going to kindergarten, meeting friends, most kids. But then they get to school and suddenly they don't want to go. Why does it happen? Because this is not how our brain is thrilled to learn, and our brain is thrilled to learn. Let me tell you, once we learn in a fun and effective way, our brain is celebrating. It loves it. It was built for us to learn and learn and learn and develop and grow. But not if we're so scared to make mistakes. We have to allow ourselves. So if my thought is, I will speak, but people will think I'm stupid, instead I will say, wow, I'll speak, and I'll learn something new today, and I'll speak, and who cares? I know I'm brave. I know it takes a lot of bravery to start speaking in a second language with native speakers. And most times people say, wow, you speak Hebrew? That's pretty amazing. I didn't know you spoke Hebrew. You speak very well, or oh, that's super nice. Super fun that you're starting to learn. That's we can communicate. It's a bridge between us. So yeah, tell yourself something new. I have to tell you for the end, and this is becoming longer than I wanted, but it's YouTube, and that's what I love about YouTube. We could actually talk about things and not just have 1 minute of clip. And you know, I'm old-fashioned. I believe in actually understanding the things. When I went to London last year to teach Hebrew teachers my method, I met on the bus from the airport to my hotel a man, and he laughed at me because I tried to buckle up as you do in Israel and in the States and in most places, but in London it's the other way around, and I couldn't find the thing for the buckle seat, right? How do you say it? Suddenly I don't know the word, but I couldn't find it, and then he said it's on the other side, and I laughed, obviously, and then he asked me, I told him it's where I come from, it's on this side, and he said, of course, I know, and then he asked me where you come from, and I said, Israel, and he told me, Israel, wow, and he started to say a few words in Hebrew. He is Jewish, and he comes to visit here a lot, and he reads the Torah, and he speaks, you know, he's not super fluent, but he can say a few things, simple things. So we started off in Hebrew, and then we switched to English, and then back to Hebrew. And the connection, because of the Hebrew, was amazing till this day, and almost a year has passed since I was in London. Until this day, we write to each other on Shabbat, saying Shabbat Shalom, and Chag Sameach if it's Rosh Hashanah, if there's different holidays, so we congratulate each other. And last time he was in Israel, he wanted to meet, but it was too late. We couldn't find a time, so next time he comes. So we're really connected, and it's something that really breaks the ice, especially this very special language, Hebrew. So tell me what you think about this video, and if there's something, and I would love to hear from you, if there is something that you have told yourself for many months, years, I don't know, something that you tell yourself, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not talented, I don't have the time, I don't have the strength, I don't have the money, I don't have whatever it may be. Tell me if there's something that you tell yourself all this time when you hit a wall, or this wall that you hit, what is it, this wall that you hit, and what do you tell yourself, and how can you change it from today? What can you say to yourself and think in your mind, control it and not let it control you, that will allow you to get where you want to get? So share with me, and I'm reading all comments. I would love to hear your comments. Bye.